You're now tuned into the fourth season of Atypical Voices in Our Time, the official podcast of Chemistry Productions, a media education company. Let's get it started.
That's AVIOT.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? It is Jay Stokes of the AVIOT podcast. Nice to be with you all this evening, where I'm recording. We got some sad news starting this episode right here, but I just want to get into it right away. So we had two recent hangings that I don't believe have been talked about in the mainstream media. Instead, mainstream media wants to focus on other things, but we have two hangings that happened recently. One I reported on social media channels, and that is with Trey Reed. Trey Reed's actual name is DeMar Travian Trey Reed. He was a 21-year-old student who attended Delta State University, and he was found hanging from a tree in the center of the campus. Police are saying there's no foul play involved. They're saying he committed a suicide. A lot of black people online are saying, nah, this is some BS. We do not believe this is the case. We do not believe this happened at all. And I'm skeptical myself, because when you think about it, everything that has happened in the news recently, a major figure on the right having his life taken, what we've seen throughout history is when white masses, especially conservative white masses, are upset, they tend to take their anger out on black people. And we've seen this back in the Jim Crow era. We've seen this back during times of slavery, whenever you had enslaved black folks that were escaping, or even the Nat Turner Rebellion. I remember you had angry white individuals. They were going around lynching or hanging, taking the lives of many black individuals as a response. We see that after the killing of the founder of Turning Point, HBCUs were threatened. And there was a big outcry amongst black people saying, what do we have to do with anything? Why are you focusing on us for? And that just goes to show that whenever certain white people are angry, they tend to take their attention and focus on black people. They want to take their anger out on black people. So my thoughts, my prayers, my energy, positive vibes go toward the family of Trey Reed. I don't believe that this was a no foul play situation and that he committed suicide or took his own life. Remember, y'all, black people don't hang themselves from trees. Black people don't. If a black person wants to take their own life, they're not going to hang themselves from a tree. Okay? And this also happened in Cleveland, Mississippi. We know that Mississippi has a history of mistreating black folk. And we know that black people have continued to be lynched to this day. Last year, the year before, there are a lot of cases of black people being hanged, of black people going missing, black people being killed. And I know white people are involved, but they never go solved. So I really hope that black people are really on law enforcement's case about this, and that we do not rest until an official story comes out, because I don't believe that Trey Reed hanged himself. I really don't believe that. So we had a second person who was also found hanged in a wooded area in Vicksburg, Mississippi. So once upon a time, people were saying that this individual, his name is Corey Zucaitis, that he was black. People were saying he was black. And I made the mistake on social media channels of also putting forth the narrative that, look, we have two black men that were lynched.
Oh no.
Corey is from what I've seen, a white individual. Still, him being hanged is a mystery. Now, Corey is being described as homeless. It was said that he was living in the wooded area where he was found hanged. And according to, I believe, his parents, he was on drugs. Still, that doesn't mean that he deserves to be hanged. It's not cool at all. I don't agree with that behavior. I don't agree with what has happened to him. I hope that justice comes his way as well. What I will say is that me personally, I have to do a better job of just reporting stories that are happening and waiting till all the facts come out before I make a statement. But I saw so many people that were reposting that Corey and Trey are both black, and that two black men got lynched, that I also reposted. I made a post of my own. I ended up taking that down. I make mistakes. I'm not a perfect individual, but still, justice for both Trey and Corey, because this is ridiculous. Trey, I do believe that this is retaliation for the leader of Turning Point being taken out. And I believe that Corey, that situation is a little bit more tricky. And I'll get into why it's a little bit more tricky as after I speak about this next story. So we found that 8 people. Now, all this happened on this past Monday. Okay, 8 people were reportedly wounded, some in critical condition. I saw some reports that said 7, but I'm just gonna go with 8 or 7. People were wounded, some are in critical condition because they were shot at a homeless camp on a private property in Minneapolis.
Damn.
Now, this shooting reportedly happened just hours after and blocks away from another shooting that left 5 injured near a transit station in Minneapolis. Minneapolis, man, that has definitely been a hot zone as of late. You have Melissa Hortman and her husband. They were tragically, their lives were taken by a radical right extremist. And now you have homeless people being attacked. Now, before I get to the connection to Corey with this situation, because we have a story of homelessness going on, I will say that the shooting at this homeless camp happened at a parking lot that has been the center of a legal conflict between the owner of the property, who opened it up to homeless people in January, and city officials who want to shut it down. So it's being said or being reported that after this whole scenario is figured out and that the perpetrator is captured, that the city officials will go through with shutting down this homeless encampment, and that they will push against the owner of the private property who wants to keep that area open for homeless people to reside. Okay, so there's that. If you're listening to the AVIOT podcast on a streaming service, make sure to leave a rating and a review so we can grow our platform. Now, what I want to say with both of these individuals being homeless, right? The people that were shot at the homeless encampment, and then also Corey, who was homeless as well, being shot. This comes after a statement was made by Brian Kilmeade of Fox and Friends, who was upset with the recent murder of Irina Zarylenko. No, sorry, Irina Zarutska. Sorry about that. Irina Zarutska. Irina Zarutska was a Ukrainian immigrant whose life was taken in Charlotte when a black man, I believe he was mentally ill. It was reported that he was suffering from schizophrenia and he might have been homeless too, ended up stabbing her in the neck on a train in Charlotte, North Carolina. So Brian Kilmeade was upset about that situation, and he was reporting or speaking about homeless people and how to deal with homeless people. And so Brian ends up saying pretty much that if you can't find a way to handle homeless people properly so that they're not harming people on the street, then you should take them out. You should kill them.
Billions of dollars to mental health and the homeless population. A lot of them don't want to take the programs. A lot of them don't want to get the help that is necessary. You can't give them a choice. Either you take the resources that we're going to give you, or you decide that you're going to be locked up in jail. That's the way it has to be now.
Or involuntary lethal injection or something. Just kill them.
Fox News is very influential. They're based, those who consume Fox News, they will listen to whatever they say. We know that Fox News in general, they get a lot of facts. Well, I would say they say a lot of things are facts, but it's actually opinion and it's not correct. There has to always be a fact checker on Fox News because they give a lot of misinformation.
Yes.
And I would argue disinformation. One being something that they're doing on purpose. So with Brian saying that maybe you should euthanize or kill homeless people, I wouldn't be surprised if the followers of Fox News, people who listen to that right-wing rhetoric, are going out and trying to take out homeless people because they feel that they are not worth being in society. People are taking matters into their own hands. And this is why this past Sunday on AVIOT Sunday Brew, which you should all check out on the Chemistry Productions YouTube channel, I had mentioned words matter. It's not a matter of just saying things and that's it. If you have a big enough platform, people will take your words and they will act on it. For example, I'll have a lighter example here. Singer, performer, business mogul Beyonce, she on a past song had said, "He effed me good, so I'll take him to Red Lobster." Ooh. Right? Something along the lines of that. She said that in a song. Did you know that there was a spike in people going to Red Lobster? Because they heard that lyric from the song and they were influenced by it. It was just words in a song. So I say all that to say, if you have a powerful platform, Fox News, Fox and Friends, that is a powerful platform. And Brian Kilmeade did come out and apologize after saying his remarks were callous and that he didn't mean to imply that all homeless people should be killed or that all homeless people have mental illness, right?
We were discussing the murder of Irina Zaruska in Charlotte, North Carolina, and how to stop these kinds of attacks. During that discussion, I wrongly said they should get lethal injections. I apologize for that extremely callous remark. I'm obviously aware that not all mentally ill homeless people act as the perpetrator did in North Carolina, and that so many homeless people deserve our empathy and compassion.
But if you have that position, and you have the power to influence people based off of your words, you really have to choose your words wisely.
That's correct.
There's that saying in Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. I understand that it is a cliche statement and it's coming from a comic book, but that's very true. With great power does come great responsibility, and you really have to watch what you're saying. Brian Kilmeade making those remarks, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a connection between that and these homeless people being attacked. You got homeless people being shot at an encampment, and then you have a homeless person, Corey, being hanged randomly in the woods. He didn't hang himself. So it's really unfortunate. These times, man. But the thing is, if you're black, you know what America's always been about. So people are like, oh, America's sick. We're living in dark times. We've been living in dark times. It's just that people knew how to disguise it. And also, it probably wasn't affecting you as much because you're not part of a marginalized group that would be impacted. But now, if you belong to the middle class, shoot, even if you belong to the upper class, you may be impacted. These laws that are being put into place that are focused on a woman's bodily autonomy, that are focused on Medicare and Medicaid, that are focused on redistricting lines so it impacts voting blocks. All this matters. And now everybody is getting a piece of the pie. I really thought after the first time this current U.S. administration was in place, I understand we have new people, but the head is still the same head. I really thought the first time with COVID happening, I thought that would be it. And that would deter people from wanting to vote for the current U.S. president once again. But people don't learn their lesson. And people also have a short-term memory. It's really unfortunate. Another thing that's unfortunate is how men today continue to treat women, approach women, not care for how women may feel if uncomfortable. Adrian Bronner, I believe his name is. Adrian Broner. Adrian. He was on the show with rappers Cameron, Mace, and they have their host, Treasure Wilson. She goes by Stat Baby on the show. He was on this show. Now, Adrian Bronner is a boxer. And he was making passes at Treasure Wilson because he finds Treasure attractive. He kept going and going and going. And Cameron, the host of the show, one of the hosts of the show along with Mace, he was saying to Adrian, like, chill, man. Stop. He had mentioned that Treasure had a boyfriend that was in the vicinity. But Adrian didn't care. Now, reports are saying he was drunk, but still. I always say when someone's drunk, it really brings out the true side of their true side of them or their true nature. And he was just really giving it to Treasure, just saying how he found her so attractive. And Cameron ends up kicking him off the show. He said, hey, man, listen, thank you for your time. I'm going to pay you for your time, but you got to leave.
You got it first.
I can't talk. I mean, all right, you told me to stop. My bad, bro. You're amazing.
All right, hey, we gonna have to ask you to go, my nigga. I mean, I have to ask you to go, man. I'm gonna pay you for your time, for being here. I appreciate you. I love you, my nigga.
I'm not doing it again.
Yeah, no. I can't. I asked you the first time. I don't have no problems with you, but I'm gonna pay you for your time. But you can't violate, bro. I told you that.
I'm not though. I'm not.
Nah, I told you niggas boyfriends in here. You know when my brother
Oh
and
shit,
all that.
my bad, bro. My bad.
Nah. But I appreciate your time.
It's me. It's me.
Well, if you want to wait for us outside, you could. But I'm not gonna sit in and not value your time neither.
Now, I've had my problems with both Cameron and Mace, how they go about certain topics, but I definitely respect that move right there. If your moderator, Treasure Wilson, is being hit on by a guy and she's not really receptive to it, she tried to smile it off at first or laugh it off at first, but if she's not being receptive to it, and the guy is blatantly disrespecting your wishes by saying, when you say, hey, stop doing that, he got to go. And that's how men hold other men accountable, especially when it comes to standing up for women, Black women specifically. Now, everybody in this interaction is Black. And within the Black collective, there's this whole thing about how Black women need to be better protected. That's how you protect Black women. If a man is getting out of line, obviously don't put your life in jeopardy, unless maybe that's your family member. But if a man is getting out of line, then you have to check him. As a man, you stand up for the woman and say, that's not cool. We don't do that behavior here. So kudos to Cameron for holding his ground. I don't know if him and Adrian are friends, but I mean, that was out of line.
Uh-huh.
And it was corny how he was coming at Treasure Wilson too. Like, just kept going and going. It's like, dude, do you know how to flirt? You know how to get the message? And then her boyfriend's there too. You're not going to take her from her man?
No.
Come on. It's not cool at all. So kudos to Cameron for doing that. I just wanted to mention that right there. Just, it's going to segue into the final topic. But first, let's get into updates. So, y'all, I got to apologize. I did not finish the article that I've been trying to work on regarding immigrants and criminality or how immigrants can or cannot be criminals, right? I really want to focus on that article and finish that. I'm still working on it. Just had a lot of things come up, but I'm still working on it. Just know that it will be done. It will be done. I have another topic that I want to focus on too. And when I actually get into writing it, then I'll probably discuss it on a podcast or maybe on the next AVIOT Sunday Brew. Make sure to keep supporting us on all our platforms. I appreciate those who do listen, who do share this content. I'm trying as hard as I can to just contribute to the media out there, lend my voice. I know there's this whole topic about everybody having a podcast and this conversation about how we need to take the mics away from individuals. I do agree some people don't need a mic. I do agree. But I hope that what I'm talking about, what I'm saying actually contributes to society in a positive manner. I'm reporting on certain news stories that I'm seeing, and I'm trying to give my perspective the best way I can. With that, let's get into the topic of the day. So I just came off a conversation, or I just came off a subject that was speaking about a woman that was being approached in an unfair manner. This is going to come out of left field, but I read an article recently talking about breast implants being removed from women, like women removing their breast implants. It was a really interesting article. It was written on CNN. I can actually try and get the name of the author. I hope I pronounced their name correctly. It is Jackie, I think it's Jackie, Jacqui, Jackie Palumbo, Palumbo. So Jackie speaking about breast implants being removed from women. And I saw this pop up on Threads, and I thought it would be an interesting topic to cover because I never thought about that in general, how women, they get breast implants because they want to look a certain way, or they want to feel more sexy, or they want to feel more confident. So they get those breast implants. But after a period of time, they say, you know what, I want it removed. Women are doing that with implants they put in their behind. We've seen, Kim Kardashian do it. And we've seen other women like, what's that woman's name? She was a singer, Kim. The name's escaping me. But she used to date Idris Elba. I'm forgetting her name. If y'all listen to it, y'all probably know. But anyways, K. Michelle, that's her name. K. Michelle. But anyways, when it comes to breast implants, some highlights from the article is that women who want to remove their breast implants may feel discouraged by the cost, cultural pressures, or pressures within the plastic surgery industry itself. What a lot of women in this article that I read were talking about was that when they try to get their breast implants removed, sometimes the surgeons that originally performed these surgeries on them, they're pushing back and saying, oh, your breasts look fine. Or they're saying, oh, well, if you get your breast implants removed, it may impact how your breasts look. Like they may hang lower, or they may sag, or you may not be happy with the results. But the women in this article were saying, well, I want them removed because I'm afraid about my health. I'm afraid about my well-being. I'm not feeling great with having these breast implants in. The article was saying that breast implant removal has been on the rise, but these removals still represent a small amount of the total cosmetic surgeries.
And now for a quick commercial break.
Hey guys, as you can hear, we are unapologetic in our opinions. We may be politically incorrect or possibly wrong, but don't knock us for being ourselves and saying what many are too afraid to admit out loud. Anyways, if you have any thoughts or questions about our show, email us at chemistryproductions@gmail.com. That's K3MISTRY productions@gmail.com. We'll be sure to address whatever you have to say.
However, removing breast implants can bring relief to patients who are suffering, even if this is a placebo effect happening, because there were surgeons in this article that were saying that even if you get your even if you want to get your breast implants removed, it may not have that significant of a difference on your health. But a lot of the talk surrounding removing breast implants has to do with this fear that you'll get sick, or that the breast implants may backfire and negatively impact your health in the long run. So this is called breast implant illness. That's what they deemed it in the article. So breast implant illness is a cluster of systemic system. Why can I read today? Reading comprehension is great, y'all, and learning how to read is great too. They shouldn't have called me into I bet you, you know what? When I was younger, I did used to get called in front of the class in order to read, and I did a great job. But for some reason right now, I'm not doing a great job. It's like being called in front of the class to read, and I'm just stumbling over my words. Let's try this one more time. Breast implant illness is a cluster of systemic symptoms, including fatigue, brain fog, hair loss, joint pain, and gastrological complaints that are often self-reported by women, but have not yet been recognized as a medical diagnosis. So there is a fear amongst many women that if I have these breast implants in, it's going to impact my health in the long run. And they report brain fog, they report complications over a period of time due to their breast implants. And what happens is when many women get their breast implants removed, they feel a lot better. So the surgeons in this article were saying that having breast implants may not necessarily negatively impact your health, but we don't know whether or not they are telling the truth, because, you know, there's a lot of money involved with all of this. And when you have surgeons that are removing breast implants, they may fear that they may do something wrong, and then now this person is in danger, their life's in danger, or they suffer a medical injury, and now you're suing the surgeon who's performing this breast implant removal surgery. I hope that makes sense. So I noticed there are a lot of pushbacks. Another interesting point too, there was a 2011 study that was referenced in this article that was saying that women who have breast implants and they get it from male surgeons, that the male surgeons generally tend to give them bigger breasts than what they ask for, as opposed to the women that do the breast implant surgeries. So I thought that was interesting. But the 2011 study said there wasn't really an explanation for that. I thought that was interesting. What I will leave you all with is this. We had some heavy topics in this podcast episode, but make sure to appreciate who you are. We're all born different. We may want things with our bodies. I always am going to encourage exercise, eat healthy, practice mindfulness, meditate, pray if that's something you do. But try to become the best version of yourself. We're all unique in our own ways. Some people are bigger, some people are shorter, some people are wider, some people are thinner. But that doesn't make you any less than somebody else. Always remember that. You are the best you that you can be. No one can do a better job at being you. So be the best you that you can be and maximize your potential. And I'll leave you all with that. With that being said, thank you all for listening to this podcast episode right here. I know I tripped up on my words. I'm working on it. Listen, running this podcast solo has been a journey. I'm used to having people on with me, and hopefully I can get guests in the near future. But for now, it's a solo mission. I appreciate all y'all for listening, and I will see y'all next time. Peace.
So go a little something like this. That's AVIOT.